The morning light spills through the kitchen window, painting the oak table in soft gold. I'm standing at the counter, grinding coffee beans, the whir of the grinder a familiar hum in our quiet house. The scent of fresh grounds fills the air, grounding me in routine. It's Saturday, and the world outside our suburban Seattle home feels distant. Birds chirp, a lawnmower drones somewhere down the street, and the rhythm of our life feels steady, predictable. Claire, my wife of 12 years, is upstairs, probably still curled under the duvet, her dark hair fanned across the pillow. I picture her there, the way she looks when she sleeps, peaceful in a way she rarely is when awake. She's always been a whirlwind, brilliant, sharp, a graphic designer whose mind races with ideas. It's one of the things I love most about her, that restless energy. But lately, something's been off. I can't put my finger on it, but it's there, like a faint crack in a pane of glass, invisible until the light hits just right. I pour the coffee into the French press and set the kettle to boil. The house is still, save for the ticking of the clock above the sink. Our daughter, Lily, is at her friend's house for a sleepover, leaving the weekend open for Claire and me to reconnect. It's been a while since we've had time like this. No deadlines, no school runs, just us. I've been planning to suggest a hike, maybe to Rattlesnake Ledge, where we used to go when we were younger before life got so full. Back when we'd hold hands and talk about dreams that felt infinite. The kettle whistles, and I pour the water over the grounds, watching the bloom of coffee swirl. My phone buzzes on the counter, and I glance at it. A text from my coworker, Mark. *K, you at the game tonight? Mariners versus Yankees. *I smile. Mark's been trying to get me out to a game for weeks, but Claire's never been into sports, and I've been swamped at the architecture firm, designing a new community center. I type back a quick maybe next time. Man. As I set the phone down, I notice Claire's iPad on the counter, half buried under a stack of Lily's coloring books. It's open to her email app, the screen still lit. I don't mean to look. I swear I don't. But the subject line of the top email catches my eye. Missed you last night. It's from someone named Ethan Caldwell. My stomach does a small flip, not quite alarm, but something uneasy. Claire's never mentioned an Ethan. I hesitate, my hand hovering over the iPad. We've always trusted each other, never snooped, never needed to. 12 years of marriage, 2 years of dating before that, and I've never once doubted her. But that subject line, it's like a hook, tugging at something deep in my chest. I tap the screen. The email opens, and my eyes scan the words before my brain can catch up. Claire, you left your scarf at my place last night. I keep thinking about you in that dress, the way you laughed when we danced. Can't wait to see you again. Same time next week? My heart stumbles. The words blur for a second, like I'm reading them underwater. I scroll up, looking for context, for some explanation that makes this innocent. There's a chain of emails, brief but intimate. Dinner was amazing, you're amazing. That gallery opening was better with you there. When can I see you again? Each one is a pinprick, sharp and precise, building to a pain I can't name. The dates go back weeks, months even. My hands shake as I scroll, the coffee forgotten, the kettle's steam curling uselessly into the air. I hear footsteps on the stairs, and I snap the iPad shut, my pulse hammering. Claire appears in the kitchen doorway, wearing her favorite oversized sweater, her hair mussed from sleep. She smiles, that lopsided grin that used to make my knees weak. "Morning," she says, her voice warm but a little distant, like she's still waking up. "Coffee smells good." "Yeah." I manage, my throat tight. I turn to the French press, plunging it slowly, buying time to steady myself. "Sleep okay?" Like a rock." She stretches, her sweater riding up to reveal a sliver of her waist. I used to trace that curve with my fingers, back when we couldn't keep our hands off each other. Now, the sight of it feels like a memory from someone else's life. She moves to the fridge, pulling out a carton of cream. "You're up early." "Couldn't sleep," I lie. My mind is racing, replaying the emails, that name, Ethan Caldwell. I want to ask her about it, to blurt out what I saw, but something holds me back. Fear, maybe. Or the hope that I'm wrong, that there's an explanation that doesn't shatter everything. We sit at the table, sipping coffee in silence. She's scrolling through her phone, her thumb flicking lazily. I watch her, searching for signs. Guilt, nervousness, anything. But she's just Claire, the woman I've loved since I was 25. The woman who cried when I proposed on a rainy beach, who painted Lily's nursery with me at 2 in the morning because we couldn't wait. I want to believe she's still that woman, but the emails are a shadow now, darkening every glance, every word. You okay? She asks, looking up. Her green eyes are steady, but there's a flicker in them, like she knows something's off. Yeah, I say too quickly. Just thinking about work. She nods, accepting it, and goes back to her phone. I feel a surge of anger. Not at her, not yet, but at myself for not saying anything, for letting this moment slip by. I need to know who Ethan is, what he means to her. But confronting her now feels like stepping off a cliff. Instead, I decide to dig. The rest of the weekend passes in a haze. Claire is her usual self. Chatty, affectionate, planning dinner with friends, helping Lily with a school project when she gets home. But I'm hyper-aware of her now, watching for cracks in the facade. Her phone never leaves her side, and when it buzzes, she checks it with a quickness that feels new. Or maybe I'm just seeing it for the first time. Monday morning, I call in sick to the firm. Claire's already left for her studio downtown, where she works on freelance projects. I wait until her car pulls out of the driveway. Then I sit at my desk in the home office, my laptop open. I start with Ethan Caldwell. A quick Google search pulls up his LinkedIn profile. He's a photographer, mid-30s, based in Seattle. His portfolio is full of moody landscapes and artsy portraits, the kind Claire would love. His face is handsome in a rugged way. Scruffy beard, sharp jawline, eyes that seem to look right through you. I hate him instantly. I cross-reference his name with Claire's social media. She doesn't follow him on Instagram, but I find a photo from a gallery opening 3 months ago. One she'd told me she attended with her coworker, Sarah. In the background, there's a man who looks like Ethan, his hand on Claire's arm as they laugh. The caption mentions the artist, but not him. My chest tightens. I dig deeper, pulling up Claire's email account on our shared desktop. I know her password. She's used the same one for years. A combination of Lily's birthday and our anniversary. Feels wrong, invasive, but I can't stop. There are more emails from Ethan, some deleted but still in the trash folder. They're careful, never explicit, but the tone is unmistakable, intimate, familiar. They've been meeting regularly at galleries, restaurants, his studio. One email mentions a quiet night in at his place. My stomach churns. I find his address in one of the emails, a loft in Capitol Hill. I grab my keys, my mind a storm of questions and half-formed plans. I don't know what I'm going to do when I get there, but I need to see it to make this real. The drive is a blur, the city passing in streaks of gray and green. His building is a converted warehouse, all exposed brick and tall windows. I park across the street, my hands gripping the steering wheel. I sit there for an hour, maybe 2, watching the entrance. No one comes or goes. My phone buzzes. Claire, texting to say she'll be late. A client meeting ran long. I don't respond. That night I can't sleep. Claire is beside me, her breathing even, but I'm staring at the ceiling, replaying every moment of our marriage. The late nights she's been working, the weekends she's spent with friends. The way she's been quieter, less present. It's all adding up, and I hate the picture it's forming. I slip out of bed and go to the office, pulling up Ethan's portfolio again. His work is good. I'll give him that moody, evocative, the kind of art that would draw Claire in. I find an interview he did for a local magazine where he talks about his process, his love for capturing human connection. I want to punch the screen. The next day I follow her. It's impulsive, reckless, but I can't sit still. She says she's meeting Sarah for lunch, but I drive to her studio and wait in a coffee shop across the street. When she leaves, I trail her car, keeping my distance. She doesn't go to the cafe where she usually meets Sarah. Instead, she pulls up to a small bistro in Fremont, one we've never been to together. I park a block away and watch through the window. There he is, Ethan, sitting across from her, his hand brushing hers as they laugh. She's wearing a dress I don't recognize, her hair loose, her face lit up in a way I haven't seen in months. I don't go inside. I don't confront them. I just sit there, my hands shaking, my heart a knot of rage and grief. I drive home, the image of them burned into my mind. That night, when Claire comes home, she kisses my cheek and says the lunch was fine. I nod, my jaw tight, and start planning. I'm not going to let this destroy me. I'm not going to let her walk away without consequences. Ethan Caldwell, whoever he is about to learn that too. I don't know what my revenge will look like yet, but it's coming, and it's going to hurt. The days after seeing Claire with Ethan are a fog of rage and calculation. I move through our life like an actor playing a role, smiling at breakfast, helping Lily with her math homework, nodding when Claire talks about her day. But inside, I'm a furnace, burning with the need to make them pay. I don't confront her, not yet. I need to be smart, to build something so precise and devastating that neither of them will see it coming. Revenge, I'm learning, isn't a burst of violence or a shouted accusation. It's a structure, like the buildings I design, each piece placed with care until the whole thing stands unassailable. I start by gathering more evidence, not because I doubt what I saw, but because I need to understand the scope of their betrayal. I install a tracking app on Claire's phone, syncing it to mine through a shared cloud account she doesn't check. It's a violation, I know, but so is her laughter with him, her hand under his at that bistro table. The app shows her movements, her studio, the grocery store, Lily's school, and, too often, Ethan's loft in Capitol Hill. The pattern is clear. Tuesday evenings, Thursday afternoons, sometimes a Saturday when she tells me she's meeting Sarah or working late. Each ping on the map is a needle, sharp and cold. I dig into Ethan next. His online presence is polished, a curated image of an artist with a growing reputation. His Instagram is a mix of moody photographs and candid shots. Him at gallery openings, him with a camera slung over his shoulder, him smiling with people I don't recognize. I find a few posts from events Claire attended, though she's never tagged. He's careful, I'll give him that, but not careful enough. I cross-reference his contacts through a mutual friend in the art scene, a guy named Paul who owes me a favor from a project I helped him with years ago. Paul doesn't know much, but he confirms Ethan's a charmer, the kind who gets around, but keeps it quiet. He's been single for a while, no serious relationships, just a string of flings. Claire, it seems, is one of them. The thought makes my stomach twist. Is that all she is to him? A fling? Or is it worse? Does he love her? Does she love him? I don't know which would hurt more. I keep digging, pulling up Ethan's financials through a less-than-legal contact from my college days. A hacker named Vince who's always been good at finding dirt. Ethan's not rich, but he's comfortable, freelance gigs, a few high-profile commissions, a small inheritance from his parents. His loft is rented, not owned, and he's got a modest car loan. Nothing screams scandal, but Vince finds something else. Ethan's been flagged in a couple of online forums for photographers, accused of being unprofessional with clients. No specifics, just vague complaints about boundaries. It's a thread I tuck away for later. At home, I'm careful to keep up appearances. Claire notices I'm quieter, but I blame it on work stress, a tight deadline for the community center project. She buys it, or at least pretends to, and we fall back into our routine: dinners, school pickups, Netflix on the couch. But every touch, every smile from her feels like a lie. I start sleeping in the guest room, claiming I'm restless and don't want to wake her. She doesn't push back, which stings more than it should. I lie awake at night, staring at the ceiling, my mind spinning with possibilities. Divorce is too clean, too easy. I want them to feel what I feel, the slow, grinding pain of betrayal, the weight of something you can't escape. The idea for my revenge starts to take shape one evening when I'm at a bar with Mark, my coworker. He's talking about a client who got scammed on a real estate deal, lost everything because someone forged documents and vanished. It's a throwaway story, but it sparks something. Ethan's world revolves around his art, his reputation. Claire's does too. In a way, her design career thrives on trust, on clients who believe in her vision. What if I could unravel that trust not just for one of them but for both? Not with violence or confrontation, but with something subtler, something that would leave them exposed, humiliated, unable to rebuild. I start small. Using a burner email, I pose as a potential client and contact Ethan, asking about a commission for a corporate portrait series. I keep it professional, flattering his work, and he bites. We exchange a few emails, and I get a sense of how he operates. Friendly, a little cocky, eager to impress. I don't push too hard, just plant the seed of a big project, something that could elevate his profile. Meanwhile, I set up a second email account, this one pretending to be a gallery curator interested in Claire's designs for an upcoming exhibit. I know her work well enough to make it convincing, referencing her style, her use of bold color palettes. She responds cautiously, but I can tell she's intrigued. The bait is set. The next step is riskier. I need to get inside Ethan's world, to see how he moves, who he trusts. I sign up for a photography workshop he's hosting at a local community center, using a fake name and a prepaid credit card. The workshop is a Saturday morning, and I tell Claire I'm meeting a client out of town. She doesn't question it, just kisses my cheek and says to drive safe. The lie feels like a small victory, a reclaiming of control. The workshop is in a bright, airy room with tall windows. Ethan's there, all charisma, wearing a flannel shirt and jeans, his camera dangling from his neck. He's good with people, I'll admit, cracking jokes, offering gentle critiques, making everyone feel like they matter. I keep my head down, blending in with the group of 20 or so amateurs. I'm not here to learn. I'm here to watch. He mentions his studio a few times, talks about the intimate shoots he does there. The word makes my skin crawl, knowing Claire's been in that space. Maybe on the couch he casually references, maybe under the same lights. During a break, I linger near his bag, pretending to adjust my camera. He's distracted, chatting with a woman who's clearly smitten. I slip a tiny GPS tracker, bought online, untraceable, into the lining of his bag. It's a long shot, but if he takes it to his loft, I'll have another way to monitor him. I leave the workshop early, claiming a family emergency, and drive home with a strange mix of adrenaline and dread. Back at the house, I refine the plan. The goal is to ruin them professionally and personally, to make their worlds collapse without ever laying a hand on them. For Ethan, that means destroying his credibility as an artist. I start by creating fake accounts on photography forums, using Vince's help to mask my IP address. I post subtle complaints about Ethan's work. Missed deadlines, poor communication, nothing too dramatic, just enough to plant doubt. I email a few of his past clients, posing as a concerned colleague, hinting at issues with his professionalism. I don't expect immediate results, but I'm playing the long game, sowing seeds that will grow. For Claire, it's trickier. Her career is more established, her reputation solid. But she's vulnerable in other ways. Her clients value her reliability, her integrity. I draft a series of anonymous emails, designed to look like they're from a disgruntled former client, accusing her of plagiarizing designs. I don't send them yet, but I collect evidence, screenshots of her work, similar designs from other artists, nothing definitive but enough to raise questions. I also start monitoring her bank account, noticing small withdrawals that don't add up, coffee shops I know she doesn't visit, a boutique hotel downtown. Each one is a clue, a piece of the puzzle I'm building. The cruelest part of the plan takes shape one night when I'm alone in the office, Lily asleep, Claire at what she claims is a networking event. I know she's with him. The tracker on her phone confirms it. I pull up Ethan's portfolio again, studying the portraits. Many are of women, their expressions soft, vulnerable. An idea forms, dark and cold. What if Ethan's clients, his female clients, started receiving messages suggesting he's been inappropriate? Not outright accusations, but insinuations, enough to make them question him. And what if Claire's clients got similar messages, hinting that she's been unprofessional, maybe even involved with a shady photographer? I create a third email account, this one posing as a concerned insider in the art community. I draft a message, careful to keep it vague but alarming, and send it to a handful of Ethan's clients, pulled from his website's contact list. I do the same for Claire, targeting her biggest accounts. The messages are a gamble. They could be ignored, or they could spread like wildfire. I'm betting on the latter. People love gossip, especially when it's laced with doubt. As the weeks pass, I see the first signs of impact. Ethan posts less on social media, his usual confidence dimmed. Claire mentions a client pulling out of a project, her voice tight with frustration. She doesn't suspect me, doesn't know I'm the architect of their unraveling. I keep my distance emotionally and physically, letting the plan do its work. But I'm not done. The final piece is personal, a betrayal that mirrors theirs. I want them to feel the sting of exposure, the shame of being seen for what they are. I start looking into Ethan's past, searching for exes, friends, anyone who might have a grudge. Vince comes through again, finding a woman named Rachel who dated Ethan 2 years ago. She's an artist too, and according to her old blog posts, their breakup was messy. I reach out, posing as a journalist writing about the Seattle art scene. Rachel's wary but agrees to meet for coffee. She's in her late 20s, sharp-eyed, with a bitterness that matches my own. Over lattes, she tells me Ethan was charming but manipulative, always pushing boundaries, making her feel small. She mentions a folder of photos he took of her, private ones she never wanted shared. She doesn't have them anymore, but she thinks he might. That's the key. If I can get those photos or even suggest they exist, I can destroy Ethan's reputation for good. And if I can tie Claire to him, make her complicit in his downfall, the revenge will be complete. I thank Rachel, promising to keep her name out of it, and drive home with a plan forming. I'll need to get into Ethan's loft or at least his computer. It's a line I haven't crossed yet, but I'm ready. The furnace inside me is roaring, and I won't stop until they're both ashes. The air in our house feels heavier now, like it's holding its breath. Claire moves through our routines with a strained smile, her eyes darting to her phone more often than before. I notice the small things, her fingers tapping nervously on the kitchen counter, the way she hesitates before answering questions about her day. She's feeling the pressure, though she doesn't know why. Ethan's world, too, is starting to crack. His social media posts have dried up, replaced by vague apologies for misunderstandings with clients. The seeds I planted are sprouting, and I'm ready to harvest. It's been 2 months since I saw them together at the bistro, and my plan has grown into something intricate, a machine with gears I've polished to a cruel shine. I've spent late nights in the office, the glow of my laptop screen my only company, orchestrating the final act. The goal isn't just to ruin them. It's to make them see each other for what they are, to strip away the illusion of their affair and leave them with nothing but regret. I want Claire to feel the weight of her choices, Ethan to choke on his charm, and both to know they've lost everything that matters. The first move is Rachel. She's the linchpin, the one who can unlock Ethan's past and give me the leverage I need. I meet her again, this time at a quiet diner on the edge of town, far from Claire's usual haunts. Rachel's more guarded now, her arms crossed as she sips her coffee, but she's curious. I tell her I'm investigating Ethan for a story, that I've heard rumors about his behavior with clients. Her eyes narrow, and she leans forward, her voice low. "He's a creep," she says. Not in a loud way, but the kind that makes you question yourself. "He took photos of me, private ones, said they were just for us. But after we broke up, I found out he kept them. I don't know what he did with them, but I wouldn't be surprised if he used them to mess with other women." I press her gently, asking if she has proof, anything I could use. She shakes her head but mentions a hard drive Ethan used to store his work, one he kept in a safe in his loft. "He was paranoid about losing his files," she says. "If those photos are anywhere, they're there." I thank her, slipping her a prepaid gift card for her time, framing it as a gesture of gratitude from a journalist. She doesn't ask questions, just takes it and leaves. I drive home, my mind racing. The hard drive is the key, but getting to it means crossing a line, breaking into Ethan's loft. I spend the next week planning. Claire's schedule is predictable now, thanks to the tracker on her phone. She's at Ethan's loft every Tuesday evening, usually for a couple of hours. I know the building from my earlier stakeout, old with a basic security system, no doorman. I buy a lockpicking kit online, practicing on our garage door until I can open it in under a minute. I also get a cheap burner phone and a prepaid debit card, keeping everything untraceable. Vince, my hacker contact, teaches me how to disable a basic alarm system, sending me a tutorial video that feels like it belongs in a heist movie. I'm not a criminal, but I'm learning to think like one. Tuesday comes, and I tell Claire I'm working late at the firm. She nods, distracted, already packing her bag for what she claims is a client meeting. The tracker confirms she's headed to Capitol Hill. I wait 30 minutes, then drive to Ethan's building, parking a block away. The street is quiet, the evening air cool and damp. I wear a hoodie and gloves, my heart pounding as I approach the entrance. The lock on the main door is old, and the kit makes quick work of it. Inside, the hallway smells of paint and dust. Ethan's loft is on the 3rd floor, and I take the stairs, avoiding the creaky elevator. His door is trickier, a deadbolt that takes me 5 agonizing minutes to pick. Every sound, a car horn outside, a neighbor's footsteps, makes me freeze. Finally, the lock clicks and I'm in. The loft is exactly what I expected. Exposed brick, high ceilings, a cluttered mix of art supplies and furniture that looks salvaged from thrift stores. His camera gear is strewn across a table, and there's a faint scent of Claire's perfume in the air, twisting my gut. I find the safe in a corner of the bedroom, hidden behind a stack of canvases. It's a small, digital model, and I curse under my breath. I don't have the code, and I don't have time to crack it. Instead, I search his desk, rifling through drawers until I find a USB drive labeled Archive. It's a long shot, but I plug it into my laptop using a portable drive cloner Vince recommended. Takes 10 minutes to copy everything. Thousands of files, photos, documents. I don't look at them. There's no time. I pocket the USB, reset the desk, and slip out, locking the door behind me. Back home, I wait until Claire's asleep before opening the files. Most are what I expected: client shoots, landscapes, artsy portraits. But buried in a folder labeled Personal, I find what I'm looking for. Photos of Rachel, intimate and unguarded, alongside others of different women. Some I recognize from his portfolio. There are none of Claire, which is both a relief and a fresh wound. She's special to him, maybe, or he's more careful with her. I copy the sensitive photos to a separate drive, encrypting it. This is my weapon. The next phase is psychological. I want them to turn on each other, to erode the trust they've built in their secret world. Using the burner email, I send Ethan a message, posing as an anonymous friend in the art community. I hint that Claire's been talking about him, questioning his professionalism to her clients. I attach a doctored screenshot of an email, forged but convincing, where Claire supposedly calls him unreliable. To Claire, I send a similar message, implying Ethan's been boasting about their affair to colleagues, risking her reputation. I keep the tone vague, letting their paranoia fill in the gaps. The effect is immediate. Claire comes home the next day, her face tight, her voice clipped. She mentions a weird email but doesn't elaborate. I play dumb, asking if everything's okay, and she brushes it off, but I can see the cracks. Ethan's social media stays silent, and the tracker shows he's not meeting Claire as often. I amplify the pressure, sending more emails to their clients, escalating the accusations. Ethan's inappropriate with models. Claire's cutting corners on projects. I leak the rumors to a local art blog, anonymous but detailed, and watch as comments pile up, speculating about their unprofessional conduct. The final blow is the photos. I create a website on the dark web, a simple page accessible only through a Tor browser. I upload a curated selection of Ethan's private photos, not enough to get me caught, but enough to cause a stir. I send the link to a handful of his clients and a few art community influencers, framing it as a warning about his character. I don't mention Claire directly, but I include a vague reference to a married designer involved in his schemes, knowing it'll point to her. The art world is small, word will spread. Within days, the fallout begins. Ethan's bookings dry up, his name whispered in hushed tones at gallery openings. Claire's clients start pulling back, citing concerns about her work. She's frantic, spending hours on the phone, trying to salvage her reputation. I watch it all from the sidelines, my face a mask of concern, offering to help with Lily or cook dinner while she sorts things out. Inside, I'm cold, satisfied, watching the machine I built grind them down. The end comes quietly. One evening, Claire sits me down at the kitchen table, her eyes red from crying. She confesses everything: Ethan, the affair, the months of lies. She says it was a mistake, that she was lost, that she loves me and wants to fix us. Her words are a knife, but not as sharp as they would have been before. I listen, nodding, my face calm. I don't tell her I knew, that I orchestrated their ruin. Instead, I say I need time to think. The next day, I file for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. I don't mention the affair in the papers. I don't need to. Her career is in tatters, her name tied to Ethan's scandal. He's left Seattle, his social media dark, his loft listed for rent. I hear through Paul that he's moved to Portland, trying to start over, but the rumors followed him. Claire moves out, renting a small apartment downtown, her spark dimmed. Lily stays with me most of the time, and I pour myself into being her anchor, shielding her from the wreckage. I don't feel joy in their destruction, not exactly. It's a hollow satisfaction, like finishing a blueprint after months of work. I rebuilt my life, piece by piece, while theirs crumbled. The photos, the emails, the whispers, they were my tools, my revenge, crafted with the precision of an architect. Claire will rebuild eventually, but she'll carry the scars. Ethan might too, but I don't care about him anymore. I've won not because I hurt them, but because I survived them. As I sit in the quiet of my house, Lily asleep upstairs, I look at the coffee maker, the oak table, the life I'm reclaiming. The crack in the glass is gone, replaced by something stronger, something I built myself. I pour a cup, the steam curling upward, and start to imagine what comes next.